Hey,
Hey, we made it.
welcome everybody.
Welcome. And you made it. I
Yeah.
hope I hope TM doesn't stand for tomorrow morning as well. Hopefully we get this show on the road. That'd be really good.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow morning happens for us in 4 hours. So,
3.
oh yeah, it's not 8, it's 9. So,
Yes.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
my computer clock is almost an hour slow by this point. No,
Oh,
it's not. It says it's 8:59 right now.
really? Your computer clock is wrong, man.
No, it's like what is it? 8 minutes off now.
It's 9:06 right now,
Oh,
according
okay.
to Verizon.
Verizon is always wrong.
I hereby neither
That is not actually true. Sorry, Verizon. You're
yeah.
probably most of the time.
And we are not explicitly we are in no way affiliated with Verizon.
Right.
They are in no way affiliated with us.
Right. Except that you are
Anything we say or do cannot be used against Verizon.
but can be used against us in the court, state of law, whatever, something.
Exactly. You know, it's funny. I just had jury selection duty.
Did you?
I did. It was great. I did not get picked. I was super happy.
Good. Good.
Yes. Because that takes some time. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Don't Worry Wednesday, because that's what it is. So welcome everybody to Don't Worry Wednesday.
Yeah, Princess, they may have had a child, according to the visuals that are being presented.
Oh my! Wow! Hey, your owls procreated.
Yes, they did.
Wow! Oh my goodness! Wow! Look at that! It's such a cute little baby owl. Got
Look at the size.
mom owl. We've got mom owl, dad owl, and itty bitty baby owl.
That's right.
It's the itty bitty baby owl.
Oh no! Don't fall over, Mama Owl.
So we've got we've got, and we've got.
What was the last one? I didn't name two of those.
Yeah.
Named yet. The ones haven't been named yet. Sorry, guys.
The other one is named, and one is named
Lacey just Owly, and that's kind of cute.
Owly. Yes. Princess doesn't like my names.
It has to be like a sound that means something, Joe.
It does mean something.
It's a sound, but it also means something.
And you got to be able to spell it too. How do you spell
WGHQ.
WGA? And then there's, how do you spell
Rough. ROUGH. Dog. Whining dog. No. Car squealing.
Yes. Well, we're gonna have fun because it's Wednesday. This is Don't Worry Wednesday. Welcome, everyone. This is a show where we go through any issues or challenges you may be having. We are not professional counselors or therapists or jurors or attorneys or judges or policemen or policewomen or anything of that nature. We just want to pull up alongside you as a friend, offer some perspective and some love and encouragement along your journey. And yeah, we want to thank every single one of you for coming out. We want to thank every single one of you for posting. Those of you who have posted, those of you who are active in the chat, and also those of you who are lurking in the background. Special shout out to you guys. We love you too. And yeah, but always feel free to participate and jump in anytime. You know, we'd love to have you. So anyway,
usually Princess Yellow, she's our hostess. Usually she
yes,
handles a lot of the stuff behind the scenes for us as well. Unfortunately, her laptop is currently not running at all. So we'll be doing our best here to pick up whatever slack that may leave us. So,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, all should be well.
Yes. And as Princess just put in there, all the ways to contact us, you can post in the chat here. You can go to our website. She just posted the link there to the what?
She just posted all that with her phone. It's pretty good.
I know, it's amazing. It's amazing. Man, we are surrounded by such talent. Speaking of such talent, we also have Jesse. He produces the show.
Welcome, Jesse.
He turns it on and off for us.
That's right.
And if you ever need trouble, just turn it off and on again. That would be his primary advice.
As an IT person, yes.
Because he is also an IT professional.
Yep.
So he actually is an IT professional. We are not professionals in any sense of the word, generally speaking.
Right. If I was to give any advice, I would say when in trouble, you call DW because I am Darkwing Duck. Let's get dangerous.
Let's get dangerous.
Anybody from the 90s will appreciate that.
Let's get dangerous.
Get dangerous. When in trouble, you call DW. Let's get dangerous.
Wow, man, I haven't heard that song in forever.
I loved that song. I was like, wow, these guys are brilliant. Who made this song? I don't even know.
I did just hear a smashing cover of the DuckTales theme.
I was going to say DuckTales also is a wonderful hit song.
DuckTales. Woo. And these guys, they kind of did like this ska punk version of it. It was great.
Really? You got to send that to me if you can.
That's cool. That's cool. If I take me some doing to find it, but I'll find it and I'll send it.
All right.
That's good. Yeah. So anyway, yep. So you can send us, you can go to the website, you can post there at the link Princess posted. You can post it here in the chat. You can send us an email at dww@bss.studio or find us on Discord. Princess also put there in there. If you find me on Discord, you can feel free to post it, but I don't check it as much as I ought to. I'm fairly new to the Discord server game, so I don't always get on. But
I'm to it, but I also don't respond that quickly. But I eventually will. I promise.
Eventually, yes, it will find its way onto the show. So, yes. So yeah, we do this show on Wednesdays, and yeah, sometime on Wednesday evening.
Hey, Phantom. How's it going? You were the bravest Phantom.
There are people who ask us what time we're going to start on Wednesday. There are those who ask this question. The best way to know when we start is to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell.
Right.
And then and then you'll get a notification. It'll be like, hey, they're starting. Means that we're streaming live, but we're not actually on yet. You know, we generally give a couple minutes. Like Jesse will tell us how many minutes we have. It's like 5 minutes and 14 seconds or something, you know, and then we usually go over because, you know, somebody's got to sing a theme song of some sort. And, you know, kind of how that works.
Yeah.
They start when they're ready. That's right.
Yes.
So anyway, I am Joe, also known as CDVNL, and above me in the proper place is Static the P.
Hello. I don't know why I'm on top. I don't know why that's proper, but
because you're the top guy, man.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I am on top here.
Yeah, man. Top bunk. Top bunk.
I actually always liked to be on the top bunk when I was a young child and I had bunk beds with my brother. Top bunk was best. That way, when you wake up in the morning and you try to sit up, you hit your head on the ceiling. And there's nothing better than waking up with ceiling in your forehead.
Oh my gosh. I can't tell you how many times I did that when I was in college and I had a loft.
Really? I've never actually done that.
Oh my gosh, dude, it was crazy. Like, because I'd always wake up with a start because I was always late for class. I was always like waking up late. And my loft, seriously, like this loft that we got for our dorm was like, I mean, I had like maybe 1.5 feet between me and the ceiling.
Oh, nice.
So I'd be like sleeping. And I'd be like, I wake up like this. Ah! And bang, right on the head, man.
Oh,
Uh,
oh man, that's
uh,
rough.
yeah, I'd always sleep through my alarm though. It was hilarious. Like we had neighbors right next door, and we shared a bathroom, right? So
Yeah.
there was 2 rooms and a bathroom in between, and like my alarm would be going off like and I'd be dead asleep. And then the people next door come pound on the bathroom door. Turn your stinking alarm off, blah blah blah. They might use some choice language in
Yeah. Hmm.
there,
Nice, nice. Hey, Tev. Nice,
Amazing.
nice to see you. Rosie, hey, welcome. I'm alive, says Rosie. Welcome back to life. It's a sunshiny day.
Everybody's smiling, sunshine day.
Actually, when I say sunshine day, it reminds me of a lot of song. Obviously the one I wrote. But when you sang that song, and then it made me think of Blue Skies, Mr. Blue Skies.
Oh yeah,
Love Mr. Blue Skies by ELO. That's a
mm,
awesome song.
it is.
That's one of those songs that exist that my brain goes, man, I wish I was the one who wrote this song.
I know.
There are a few songs out there I'm just like, man, I wish it was me who wrote this song because this is just awesome. Yeah. And that's one of Mr. Blue Skies by ELO. If you guys don't know that song, check it out. It's great.
It is a great song. Oh, I have a question. Marhandi asks
Hey, thanks, Rosie.
what CDVNL means.
Oh, nice.
What does it stand for? You know, it's a really great question because I don't think anybody really knows. So, if you come up with something clever, we might have a vote.
Yeah. CDVNL is a series of letters which just Jesse's computer is responsible for. Jesse wrote a program.
Totally. Because he's genius.
Yeah, because he's a genius. Jesse wrote a program that selected a random, I don't know if it was the number was random, but basically 5 random letters from the alphabet. And that's what it came up with. And Joe was like, all right, we're using that CDVNL. And it's so great because CD is a thing and VNL is a thing. And both of them are used for audio.
Yeah, well, like a CD is a compact disc. VNL is kind of like an abbreviation for vinyl, which is like a record. And so we're like, hey, this is going to be great because all of my stuff is only available on MP3.
Yes. CD vinyl available on MP3, not on CD or vinyl.
Right, exactly. And actually, the thing about it was, you know, my name is Joe Anderson, right? And there's like 6 or 7 billion people in the world, and probably 5 billion of them are named Joe Anderson.
Well, that's a pretty high number. I mean, those statistics are actually true too. So don't even try to look it up. He's right.
Seriously, when I was on the swim team in high school, the swim team is not that big. There's not that many people on a swim team. But there were 2 Joe Andersons on the swim team.
Wow.
Yeah, they had to differentiate us with our middle initial because, you know, like, because there were 2 Joe Andersons.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. And yeah, so anyway, but CDVNL was used because we wanted something unique. And it says like the only thing, like if somebody heard about it, it would be very easy to find it because nobody else shares it.
If you Google CDVNL, you're not going to really come up with anything.
You find nothing except for me on Spotify. Actually, let's do it right now.
Cool. After we do this, we should totally get into the show.
We're gonna focus after this.
Yeah. One thing I was gonna say is that I suggested Turkish Taco House, which was up in the running.
We're still gonna use that.
Yeah, we're gonna use it sometime. Turkish Taco House just sounds awesome.
Yep. Google CDVNL, and all you find are Black Statica Swerve, Wiki, the CDVNL YouTube, the CDVNL Facebook, the Rate Your Music albums, discography, CDVNL on Spotify, sale on. Yeah, stream it on Amazon Music. So it's very, very careful. Daily victory never lies. Consonants do for very nice letters. You guys are great. Cool dude voicing nice lines. You guys are awesome. Man, oh man, we're gonna it's gonna be a contest. Actually, we're gonna do that in the future. Just put that in the back of your head. We're gonna do a contest. What does CDVNL stand for?
Nice.
And somebody's gonna win.
That's true. There's always a winner in a contest.
Yep, but everybody here knows the inside scoop. Yeah. So anyway, all right. Well, let's get down to the business of doing business on Don't Worry Wednesday. What do you say?
Yes, absolutely.
I think yes. Thank you, Princess. We will focus back on Don't Worry Wednesday. So all right. So we've got a handful of stuff in the queue. And so I'm just gonna say a whole bunch of names and see who's here. Some of you I see already.
Thanks.
So yeah. So let's see. We have Knox, Amira, Nathan, Bakugo Lover, Sunrise K, Karma, Rose, Bree, Random, Akil, Purple Husky 8, 15th Ghost, Cherry or 2, or what's it? What is the actual? What does 2 stand for? The Sacred Unique. Sorry, thank you. Sparrow, Princess, Masterlay, and Sakayuka, Taiwan. And yes. So let's see. Nobody's saying here. But I do see a few of you. I see Cherry, I see Princess, and I see Masterlay. Jesse says here. Thanks, Jesse. I'm so glad you're here. All right. So we're going to go in order of stuff here. We handled the one from the Sacred Unique on health, did we not? Or was that?
Which one?
Which one did we handle?
Of who's?
No, we handled help. That's right.
We handled help.
Okay. And that was on the last one. So we'll start with somebody. We'll start with Princess because that's the next in line.
I wonder if My Eyes is a play on the song Your Eyes, which is, if anybody doesn't know what that is, that's episode 10, available for listening on the Kickstarter or on our website. To those subscribe or fund. Absolutely.
Yes. So
I'll be working on the video soon. The art is in the works for it. So
yes. All right. So this one comes from Princess, and she's our hostess. And she's awesome. And she also posted a topic. And there's the link to it. So you guys can click on that and you can read along with me as I read it.
Have you been updating this post? You've been editing this post. Yeah, edited 6 hours ago. Because I'm like looking at the percent here and I'm like, there's no way she just okay. Cool.
Yes. All right. So this is called My Eyes. And it goes like this.
Have a good one.
I've got something that's been haunting me for a while. It's been haunting me for a while. And for the longest time, all I could do is run from it. I wasn't strong enough to face the pain. Yet as time has passed, it hasn't gotten any easier. Even as I can handle the pain better, the pain seems to have increased with it. And as much as I tried, I am affected by the words of others. It's led me to the point where I'm the one who is getting caught hiding their eyes, just by myself and not some detective. So while on this topic, go check out the Kickstarter campaign for amazing music that moves the soul. And even if you can't, pass the word around. It's around 93% funded already. Yes, it is. And thank you to all of you who have supported the campaign.
Seriously.
And And Ryan and Joe, while I know I have told you more personal stuff about this topic, I want to ask you to refrain from revealing those personal things I've shared with you. Please privately message me if you want that type of info. Okay. Okay. While this isn't something that I'm going to be able to resolve quickly or with one talk, I want to try and be more open. I need help if I want to move forward, and there's no place like Don't Worry Wednesday to get loving support. That's
Mm,
what we do here.
thanks.
I don't know where this issue has its roots. It's been so long, it's hazy to see where it began or what the issue truly is. But I know it's wrapped with wounds, deep ones, about trust and intimacy. I think I've come to realize just how much I have been shaming myself for feelings that I have, how often I bully my own heart, put it down with negative words, feel ashamed that I feel the emotional responses I feel. I batter my own spirit with guilt and humiliation. I really am my own worst enemy to my heart. And it's even more heartbreaking because it leads to making crying every day at least once the norm. Where I learned better than ever how to cry at work without leading anyone to ask me if I'm okay. Yet when I come home at night, often I'm left weeping myself to sleep to peaceful music to cope with the sorrow and pain. I wish it was as easy as saying, "Stop doing this to yourself, girl." But it's not. And it's even harder to bring up here. I don't want people to know about something that makes me feel ashamed. I already guilt myself about it enough that I don't want to endure more of it from others asking, even if it's the best of intentions. And with all the thoughts running in my mind, it's hard to unravel it all. I wish it didn't exist, and I honestly don't know if that means the shame I'm feeling or the feelings that I am shaming myself for. So, my focus, I guess, in this is how do I heal a wound of shame, and what techniques can I use to stop thoughts that harm my heart? How do I face the wound of distrust towards intimacy? I can't continue letting my heart be torn. I can't let this continue to take a toll on my conscience and heart. I need to confront this pain, yet I don't know where to start. And in my own thoughts, and my own thoughts only carry me in loops, hiding and running to find a place where the agony and sorrow can't find me. I hope that I can learn to make peace within my own heart from this pain. Maybe there's a billion lessons, and that's not one of them. But I want this pain to mean something, this suffering. I want to grow from it and fashion it into something more loving. And that's from Princess.
Mm,
Princess, first of all, thank you so much for posting. Wow. And thank you for your courage because yeah, like as you stated, we've had conversations. I I know I have, and I'm sure Ryan has too, and a little bit that go a little bit deeper into what some of this might be. But we will be discreet in discussing this tonight. And wow, but thank you so much because this is. I don't think this is something that just affects you. As you stated in your post, it's wrapped with wounds, and every single one of us has wounds of some kind. They're not all the same. Some are, more hurtful wounds than others, but we all carry wounds with us, and they need to heal. And that's one of the things we hope to help accomplish on this stream. I know doctors will say, they don't really heal people. Doctors don't heal people. They basically do things to set up the body to heal itself.
hmm
And there is healing here for you, Princess. Maybe not here tonight, but there is healing out there. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ryan and let him start. Ryan?
Yeah. No, it's no problem, Princess. Don't worry about restrictions and all of that. Um, whether it's fear or not, it doesn't necessarily need to be um, exemplified or talked about. Whatever the exact issues are. Um, sorry, the issues behind the main issue, right? Does that work? The scenarios that led to the issue.
Mm.
That's what I'm trying to say. Um, because everybody's going through something similar. Not everybody, but a lot of people are going through something similar, and their issues might have come from different scenarios, different stories, but ones that create similar results in the heart, similar results in the head, that cause us to think and feel and respond and put up walls in certain ways and all that. So here's what I'm going to. This is kind of like the first thing that came to my mind when I was reading all of this, whereas Joe was reading all of it, I suppose. Um, since you're, since luckily you are a religious person, you believe in God. I know that I can say this without um, having any issue. But to anybody who is listening, I apologize if it offends you. I'm just going to respond this way at first because I feel like it is most appropriate for Princess in her current situation in life. Um, and that is this: when you're worrying about how to deal with shame, how to deal with how you treat yourself, um, and things of that nature. I think one of the most important things that you could possibly do is attempt to see yourself as God sees you.
Hmm.
I think that that route, you know, they say, "What would Jesus do?" I think that's a great line, but I think a lot of times what's more important than that is because we're not Jesus, right? We're not. I mean, we're designed to try to be like Jesus, right? But our we aren't Jesus. We don't have the same life he has. We don't have the same talents he had. We have different lives. We have different talents. We have different purposes. We have different ways about going through things. We have different personalities. We are different individuals, every one of us. But God looks at us all the same, with the same compassion, the same love, the same reality, and he sees through everything and can get to the heart, the bottom of everything. So try to see yourself, yes, through the eyes of someone who loves you. And in this case, I would say see yourself through the eyes of God, because God is that which is reality. He creates reality. He understands you more than you understand yourself. And you realize that his love is unconditional. So through those eyes, you can see yourself and you can see your shame, you can see your sin, and look at it as it really is. See, a lot of times what happens is we have this fear um, when it doesn't need to be there.
Hmm.
Um, when we see ourselves and we have this shame, right? We don't want other people to know our problems, um, and we don't want to present those problems to God. Um, and we don't want to have had those problems ever, but they exist, right? We get this kind of delusion, this illusion that because of our shame, because of our sins, because of the way we are, because we're not perfect, God would not love us, and others around us could not love us either. But the truth is that is a lie, and people around you still love you, and God still loves you because He doesn't see the sin as who you are. He sees the sin as what it is, but not who that makes you. The sin in you are not one person, or the shame in you are not one person. Whether that be something that you did or something someone did to you, um, that causes that shame. Um, and it can be either, and it can be both. Um, and from what I know about you, I think that it's more likely something that happened to you, not something that happened that you did. But um, understand that that is not who you are, and that is not how God sees you or how others see you, including myself. Um, and so, yeah, you end up beating yourself up a lot, right? You end up beating yourself up. Your feelings are constantly hurt by yourself, and then those feelings go run wild, and it takes off down some road, and then you end up kind of alone and crying. And that's not how anybody wants to end up, including yourself, right?
Mhm.
So, whenever you see yourself going down that road, remember to take that moment and ask yourself, what does God think of me? How does God see me? How does God see not just me? How does God see the whole of humanity? How does God see people? And if you can take that, then what you can do is you can put reality back. What you do is you're like running, right? You're running from this fear, and then you put up this fortress that is reality. And then you end up running into it and saying, okay, well, I can't get past this because reality, the reality is through his eyes, your value is infinite, right? He dies for you and he runs all of humanity in our history and existence to make it so that you can be with him in heaven, right? He invites you into his home. And so again, sorry everybody who is not religious. Just talking about this with somebody I know who is. Um, you know, because if you set up that foundation and you start to have your feelings go crazy and you start to attack yourself, then you have this intense conflict with what is true. Um, and then you know that you can't fight that. Your mind goes, oh, but then God still loves me and God sees my things differently than I'm feeling them. And God feels for me differently than I feel for myself. And if that is reality, then I can't fight that. My mind has nowhere to run from that. And that's what I basically have to submit to and say, nope, you win. And I'm not going to run anymore. I'm not going to try to beat myself up anymore because I already see, you know, the errors of my way, and to try to continue that is pointless. I don't know. That's kind of my route for a lot of this stuff. Um, and I hope that proves helpful for you. I know that that has been one of the most helpful things for me in my entire life. Um, is when I was able to look at reality differently, um, through eyes of who cares, someone that loves, and through that reality, I was able to see my life in a different way and put away those things which were holding me back. Um, so I hope that helps you. Now, again, if you want to try to leave religion out of all of this, there's still, like Saigo just said, there's still truth to all of that. If you don't want to imagine yourself from God's perspective, then at least do this: love. Now, a lot of times people say you can't define love, and I would say love is definable. You can define it in two ways. One, which is the modern use of the word love, which is I really like it a lot. And that's not a love that carries you. It's a love that moves you a short distance and then stops you, because then that desire, that taste, that emotion fades with time, right? Then you have the second definition of love, which goes back really far into the past, thousands of years, and that design that sorry definition is to desire the best. When you can desire the best for yourself, if you take a step back and you love yourself, right? You desire the best for yourself and you desire the best for others around you, you can understand what you're doing and where you're going and say, okay, logically, is what I'm doing right now wise? Is what I'm doing right now going to put me in the best situation moving forward in life? Is what I'm doing right now leading me on the right path to becoming the best version of myself? And that's another thing that has definitely helped me throughout my life, is asking myself that question. Whatever conflict I face, a lot of times that calls me into an act of courage. Sometimes like I see a scenario going on and all I want to do is just nah, I'm gonna let that go and like let those people hash it out. But I'm going, but what is the best for me? The best version of me is courageous. The person who isn't afraid to get involved. The best version of them is, well, me acting out in this scenario and being an example for them. So I should, move forward. Or maybe I'm making fun of myself or something, or I'm being mean to myself. The best version of myself is aiming to be kind towards myself, to be patient towards myself, to be compassionate, and to lift myself up and to be, whatever, better in every possible way. And so with that, I can usually turn the tide, and say, you know what, let's stop this flow of negativity. Let's stop going down this road of like self deprecation, and just turn it around and start being the guy who is capable of turning it around. A lot of times we think change is really hard.
Hmm.
The thing that makes change hard is thinking that it's hard.
Mm. Hmm.
And it's true. So many times I'm like, man, like whether it be a desire or like I'm thinking maybe bad, right? And I'm thinking bad things about myself. And then it goes down this road. And at some point I realize that I'm doing this. And at that moment, sometimes it can be like that feeling of like, yeah, but I just want to continue. But I know I shouldn't. But it would be easy to just continue. And that's kind of how I feel right now. So I'm going to. But you know what? As soon as I'm like, you know what? Nah, let's just change it. Let's just stop it and then take action. I realized that was so easy and so fast. It wasn't a big deal.
Hmm.
It just we make it hard on ourselves, right? But the reality is it's not even hard. You just have to do it. And then you're like, wow, actually that was quick and simple. That was quick and simple to stop. So, anyways, or to do this action or whatever it is. So, anyways, I've talked for way too long, and I'm gonna
Hmm.
let Joe expound on this subject further, and I'm interested in just hearing what he'll have to add to this.
Well, you haven't spoken for too long, first of all, Ryan.
Yes, I have. Do you
You have
see
not.
my? You beat
Yes.
you beat that. Okay,
Yes. I
want to make sure.
see.
I want to
I'm
see.
not going to beat that.
I want to see me in silence for longer than I just talked. Okay. All right. So you better have a lot to say. No.
Right. Well, Princess just posted an update. From my past, I don't feel as if I'm allowed to get close to others, that it isn't possible to do so. And that is wrong of me to even have the thoughts to do so. So you're bound up in your mind with, with this there's a whole myriad of things that can be going on. Now, some of it could be just a general lack of confidence based upon previous wounds. I know that for me, a lot of times, I felt like I would try to be involved with, whether it's just being involved with a group of people or try and interact socially, and I had trouble with that because I'm kind of introverted, and so I would say things and it would come across awkward and all kinds of weirdness, and it took me a long time to figure out like how that kind of stuff works, and it was really really tough. um but a couple things. One, yes, there are wounds from the past that are affecting you. And how this works is we're wounded by somebody or something, some event happens. And usually it's another person, there's another person involved, and we get hurt, right? So what we do in response is we're like, I don't like this hurt feeling. So I'm going to do something to protect myself from that hurt. I'm going to put up a barrier around my heart so I don't experience that hurt again. And then another wounding happens, and we put a barrier there so we don't feel that ever again. And then another wounding happens, and so we put a barrier there. I did want to touch on one religious point. Ryan, I think, knocked it out of the park with the religious perspective. But one thing was, you had mentioned something about seeing the benefit in suffering. And I had a recent experience where I was wounded by something somebody really close to me said. And what I did at that moment, you know, many times what I would do, most of the time, what I do in that situation is I just shut down and I go cold and I don't say anything. I just like go quiet and unemotional, right? That's kind of like my normal operation there, right? So, because I don't want to say something wrong. I don't want to say something that's going to escalate the situation. I just want to, I want it to end, right? And so what I did, though, this was very interesting because I don't normally do this as quickly. But in this particular instance, I thought about it and I was like, wait a minute. I'm going to take this pain and I'm going to offer it to God. I'm going to just say a quick little prayer. I'm going to say, Lord, this pain I feel, I'm going through it and I open myself to it. I let myself experience this pain. Rather than closing myself off to try and protect myself from the pain, I opened myself up and willingly experienced the pain. I let myself experience that pain and I offered it to God as a sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I was like, I offered it for that person who did the wounding. I said, I offer this pain as a sacrifice for you to help this person, right? And I don't know all the metaphysics of all that happens, right? But what it did was it calmed me down almost immediately. And I was able to kind of just wash away really quickly. And I was able to just say, and what that did was it changed my demeanor. So even though I didn't say much, rather than me just being cold and against that person, what happened was I was being silent just to let that person work through their thoughts, right? Just to let them process their thoughts. And I was there available when they wanted to say something again, right? Because we were in a car ride and we were going to be going away,
Mm-hmm.
right?
There's no walking away.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
Pull this car over. No, sorry.
So anyway, so that's one thing that you can do. And I find when somebody offends me, one of the best things I can do is pray for them. Because what it does is it sets my heart in the right place toward them. It reminds me that I love them and I want the best for them, and that what they're doing, it hurts them to be behaving that way. When they're doing something that hurts other people, that's not right behavior. And in the long run, it hurts them because it just creates habits that go around hurting other people, and that's no good. So one of the things to do, and I know you've heard us talk about this before, is that those old wounds, the way to heal those is through forgiveness. Now, it's easy to say. It's not always easy to do, right? Sometimes it takes multiple times going back and revisiting that wound, opening yourself to it and just saying, you know what, I'm taking the barrier down. I'm going to let myself experience that pain and make that conscious effort to be like, I'm going to allow myself to feel it, to feel every bit of it. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to forgive them for it. I'm going to experience it and I'm going to forgive them for it. And what happens is now you've broken down some of that barrier. Because here's the thing, those barriers that you've built from those old wounds, that's what's trapping you. All those barriers that we build up, those trap us and make us timid. They make us unsure of ourselves. They make us unwilling to be intimate with others, to be unwilling to be close to others. We don't want to be our true selves around others. And it's because we've built those things up, and we did it to protect ourselves because we didn't want to hurt. And I understand that. But when we let ourselves feel the pain, forgive the offender for the pain, the barrier falls down. And then we open up another piece of our existence to the possibility of intimacy with other people, to the possibility of a close friendship. But forgiveness is what's required. But before the forgiveness can take place, we have to experience the pain. And that can be a really, really tough thing. So, and I know there have been some painful experiences that you've had. And many of you that are listening, I know there are painful experiences that you've had in the past. And maybe you've done this same thing where it's like, I got to protect myself from feeling this pain. I don't want to feel this pain. So I'm going to protect myself from it. And so I put up guards in front of me. But then those guards just trap us. So the more we can break those down, the better off we are in the long run. And the more open we are, the more relaxed we are, the more genuine we are. Because, Princess, I see you here in this community serving others.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the first message I got from you. It was so encouraging and so wonderful. And I imagine anybody who's ever gotten a message from Princess, it's been encouraging and wonderful. And just a reaching out from a friend. So you do this. But then also, yeah, you're dealing with those wounds, those old wounds. And as you can let go of them, and it's going to take some time, it's going to take a process. You'll do it one at a time. Maybe you can do a few at a time. I've had trouble doing more than one at a time, but I had to work through a lot of this, right? So that's the first thing I would say is, learn to experience the pain from those wounds and then forgive. It makes you open, and it actually makes you stronger because you're like, you know what? I've felt pain worse than a lot of people. And that, or when an experience comes to you, you can say, I've experienced pain worse than this. Right? And it just toughens you up to have that knowledge in the back of your head. Now, here's another thing. One thing Ryan has said on this stream many times, not this particular one, but this show, is embrace the awkward. Right? And I would take that in this context with this situation here to say, put yourself out there, live large, live big. And it's so interesting because I can draw a parallel to this specific thing, the concept in martial arts. My sons and I do martial arts, and we are actually in a program that is teaching us to be martial arts instructors, right? So we're going beyond just learning the techniques and all that kind of stuff of martial arts. When we're going into how do you teach others martial arts? And myself, like every other person, they teach us some of this stuff, and then they throw us in front of the class, and we have to teach a portion of the class, right? And it always kind of goes like this. You're up there and you're like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I've been in class so many times. I've watched good instructors teach class, but I don't know. I was really scared and I'm nervous and all this kind of stuff. And it kind of goes like this, okay. So today we're going to learn jab, jab, cross, which is jab, jab, cross. And so everybody go. And, everybody does it. And it's just not that exciting, right? because it's awkward. It feels weird, and you're nervous and everything like that. But then you watch it happen with everybody, and they kind of do it enough, and then they're like, wait a minute, I'm just gonna let myself be awkward, and I don't care. And then you see somebody get up there, and rather than being like, okay, today we're gonna do jab, jab, cross, and it's gonna be like this: jab, jab, cross. Okay, everybody go. Right? You see people say, I step back, hands up, ah! Today we're gonna do jab, jab, cross, like this: jab, jab, cross, jab, jab, cross, go. Then it's like, okay, time, stop. And everybody stops and they look at you. And they go, and you just do crazy, weird stuff, right?
I love it.
And what happens is, because that's teaching you how to have a fist, right? Because so many people have weird fists. They get their thumb out there and they're like, yeah, or they put their thumb inside. You're gonna break your thumb. Like, you don't break your thumb. But the thing about it is, when you let yourself go, and not let yourself go like, just whatever, but when you take the chains off and allow yourself to be awkward, it's more exciting, it's more fun for you, and it's more fun for everybody around you, because you're having a good time. And you do that. Now you can do that. You don't have to be in martial arts class to do that. You can do that with everything. There have been times I've made phone calls to build businesses, right? Like sales calls, whatever. And so it always goes like, beginning off, you'd be like, hello, have I caught you at a bad time? Okay, I have this thing and I'd really like to share about this product or service or whatever, and da 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 da. I've done a lot of sales and all that kind of stuff too. And it always goes like that in the beginning. But then eventually you kind of cross the threshold. You're like, I don't even care. I'm just going to put myself out there. I'm just going to say it, and I'm going to be fun and everything. And you're like, hey, how's it going? Have I told you about blah, blah, blah? And because you put some passion behind your voice, it's more exciting for them, and everything just seems to go well. And even if they say, don't ever call me again, and blah, 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 and they hang up on you, it still was way more fun. Because you allowed yourself, you took the barriers away, and you're like, I'm just gonna put myself out there head first, man. I'm just gonna go, what? I'm gonna let myself experience the punches or whatever, and it's so much more fun. And so, like Ryan says, embrace the awkward. And I would say, allow yourself to come out. It might take some time. Like we said, you got to break down some barriers. But the more you practice just putting yourself out, and like I said, you do this already because you have reached out to me. I know you've reached out to other people. You put yourself in here as the chat room hostess, and you put yourself out there for others in the chat. So you already can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start doing it in other areas of your life, what happens is you start to have more fun. You start to realize, wait a minute, you know what? I'm a unique person. And I'm going to let the world experience who I really am. And they can take it or leave it. And that's fine. They can be friends with me or not be friends with me. One of the things is, I had a massive fear of rejection because I had been rejected by so many people. I'd been bullied by so many people. I had tried to become friends with people and they would reject me. I would ask people out on dates and I'd get rejected, all kinds of stuff. And then what would happen was be like, okay, well, I'm not going to experience rejection again. I'm just not going to talk to anybody. And you know what? That closed me off from meeting so many great people, I'm sure. When I finally started to open up, I started to meet awesome people. That's how I met Ryan, his brother Kyle. How I met Jeff. You guys know Jeff. He's in the chat all the time. Jesse. All these people. Because finally, I was able to say, you know what? I'm just going to let myself get to know people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to let them get to know me. That's the scariest part. Getting to know other people is a lot easier than allowing others to know me, who I am. But the more you do it, the more fun it is and the more rewarding it is, because you just get surrounded by great people. And the same goes for all you guys. Like, I mean, yeah, the more you can break those barriers down and just be somebody, that be you. Let the world experience you. We need to experience you because you're the only you there is.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I definitely talk longer than you.
Thank
I
you,
see
buddy.
on there.
Thanks for getting me.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much what I had to say. So
You're not that interesting. That's what everybody says about themselves, no matter who you are. No
I'm
one,
not interesting. Are you kidding me?
no one is like, wow, I have the most. Like everyone, like is like, wow, I've got great stories to tell from my, life. But no one finds themselves interesting because they are them and they're with themselves all the time.
Mhm.
But it doesn't really matter if you're interesting or not, because that's not the whole point. You're not trying to impress, right? You're trying to be a good person, make a relationship happen. You're trying to make life better, increase in holiness, and all of this kind of stuff. Doesn't really matter if you're interesting or not. You know how you will become interesting? Doing those things that you're afraid to do.
Mhm.
I mean, you
Then
look
you'll
at
have more stories. You said on here, I can do that to an extent, but I'm not that interesting. Like I don't have many things to share anymore. And it's like, aha, you want more experiences to share. You want more stories to share. Do what Ryan was just saying. Right?
yeah, yep.
Sorry, I
Got-
interrupted you. I
no, it's
I
fine.
got on a roll.
Yeah. No, that was perfect. And there was one thing I wanted to comment on. Joe talked about it for a while, and it was awesome that he did because it made me remember something, and that is this: when it comes to dealing with pain, and I know I've said this to you, Princess, I've said it to others as well. Um, what like when it comes to pain, why do you not like that? Like, why don't you just take it? What's the big deal? That's kind of how you have to be about pain so that you can use it to your advantage. Because just like you said, you want to make your suffering worth something, but you can only take advantage of something if you're allowing yourself to experience it, allowing yourself to use it. I don't gain an advantage with my talent for music by running away from music,
Mm.
but I do gain advantage of music when I use it, when I allow myself to play, to act in it, to take in the present time, set time to actually do that, you know? And so we have to, if you want to use suffering to your advantage, you have to take the suffering as it is. You have to just come to accept it. And let me tell you, like, I remember as a kid, you know me, I hate the cold. Cold is painful
Mm.
for me.
You like it.
I have this strange uh, f- physical reaction to cold. It's actually, I guess, yeah, I guess you could say it's a physical reaction. It's a chemical reaction in my brain to the cold, which makes me feel the cold as if cold equals pain.
Mm.
So, and I'm not sure where that comes from. It could be because when I was a kid, I had temperature of like 104 a couple of times, and I got put in a cold bath to cool.
Mm.
And that might have rewired the way my body reacts to cold. But anyways, something happened at some point, or maybe I was born with this issue. I don't know. But anyways, I feel cold slightly different than most people, and that is when I feel cold, I experience physical pain, and it's like kind of like needles all over my body. It's not good. So, anyways, that aside, when I just embrace the cold, like let's say I'm outside, right, and I don't have the proper wear on, And I'm just like, dang it, I have to go through the cold. This is going to be miserable. I hate the cold, blah, 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 blah. Every single step along the way, I'm going to be miserable.
Mm.
But I've done that. And then halfway through, I decide to just change things. And the only thing I change is just accept the pain and say, you know what? I'm going to be, you know what? I can handle it. I'm going to be in pain whether I complain about it or not. But you know how strong I am? You know what's funny is at the end of this, I'm going to get to somewhere warm, and this is no longer going to be my reality. I'm not going to be cold forever. I'm just experiencing this right now. Like, so it doesn't even matter because like it's not even going to be for the rest of my life. All I have to do is just walk. And that's not even hard. I just have to walk to where I'm going. That's like, what the heck? Duh, it's easy. I can take a little bit of pain. And so then I just walk with the pain. I'm like, yeah, what up? Let me take my shirt off. Let's go. Right? Let's see how painful that can get. Like, let's own that. So that changes everything because then my spirits are up. Then the pain doesn't affect me. The pain, I feel the pain, but it doesn't affect me. Right? It has no control over me. And when the pain no longer has control over me, then I get to be free and have control over myself again.
Mhm.
And, that applies to, of course, not just the pain, physical pain. It applies to other pains in life, like mental pains. When someone says something mean to me or something, right? Which I don't even know if that happens. But if someone were to, try to put me through some mental pain, right? If someone said something and hurt my feelings, it's the same. I can let it affect me, or I can go, you know what? Dude, bring it on. Say your worst. Like what you got. Because here's the thing. I'm not gonna run from that pain.
Mhm.
I'm gonna let you say what you want to say. And at the end of the day, I'm on top of the world. And you're not gonna change that. At the end of the day, like maybe you're having trouble opening up to people and so you can be intimate with them, right? At the end of the day, I'm gonna open up to everybody, right? I'm gonna let them know what's on my mind. I'm gonna let them know whatever. I'm gonna try to be transparent. And if they don't like me, I'm still on top of the world. I'm still in control of myself. And they did not take that away from me, even if I had to experience a little pain. But again, it's just in the moment. So, oh well. I mean, whatever. Pain is nothing to be afraid of. Sure, we don't like the feeling. That's all it is, though. That's all it is. We just don't like that feeling. That's all. Oh well. I don't like that feeling. Oh well. you know, uh, you, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to put this into words. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't like that feeling. Oh, okay. Easy. Who cares? Move forward. Like I don't like a lot of things. Who cares? It isn't forever and you still count. You still make a difference. You're still just as important. You're still infinitely valuable. And none of that changes. All this is a moment in time that you don't like. But guess what? A lot of times, it's the moments in life that we don't like that make us into the best people we can possibly. And
Mhm.
so let it happen. I want to be, I remember one time when I had discovered how do you say that? The secrets to life, if you will. And that was pain makes us grow.
Mm.
It's our struggles a lot of times that form us into the best person we can
Mhm.
possibly be. And I remember being in the spot where I'm like, hey, I've got no struggles going on right now. God, what's up? Like, hey, excuse me, bring it on. Cause I need to become a better person. So throw it at me. And then he put me in a relationship with some girl and it was tough. Um, and so he's like, yeah, here you go. There you are, buddy. But it's just, I mean, that's the formula for life. Like it's easy. If you figure that out, then you'd be like, oh yeah, bring the struggle on. I know what it's like. And yeah, I don't like it. But guess what? I like the results. I like the results that it has. And so just throw it at me. If you can have that attitude and you can look at your struggles as a way to just be like, yep, I'm going to get better. If you can look at pain as a way to make you a stronger and better person before the eyes of God, then yeah, do that. Because hopefully that'll get you, again, seeing yourself in the eyes of God, seeing yourself in true reality, in the future, where you are now and where you've always been, and just saying, okay, yeah, I can do this. But anyways, I'm going to leave on that. Joe, did you have anything else you want to follow up with?
Yes. I am going to randomly throw buckets of cold water at you.
Awesome.
Just to help you grow through pain.
Buddy. I knew you had my back off the top of it. No. I love you, Joe. You really helped me grow the best.
Oh, good. Yes, it's the buckets of cold water. No, through pain, through experiencing pain, we actually get more peace. It's interesting. And to go with a hot cold analogy as well, experience this physically, where you can figure, like Ryan was saying, I think pretty much everybody being like freezing cold is painful and it's like stressful, like right? But then when you're just warm and nice and warm and cozy, it's like peace, right? Now, those of you who know what Lake Superior is, what's that?
A story that is about you. I don't know if you're about to tell it, but go on.
My brother lives up near Lake Superior, and we went up there. This was crazy. It was January, and we were visiting, and he's like, "Hey, let's go jump in Lake Superior." It's January, like it's winter time.
Yeah,
it's like it's barely not frozen. Like there's not ice on this one little section, right? So this is the craziest thing. We went to the beach, right? We're like, all right, we're gonna do this. This is gonna be great. Outside, it was like, I don't know, 20 degrees out or something. So it was a pretty warm day for January up there.
It's still below freezing.
Yeah, it's like 20 degrees Fahrenheit.
Just for those who live in everywhere but America, that's -6 degrees, -6.6 Celsius.
Yeah. Okay. And the water was just above freezing. So like 1 Celsius, right? Like there was ice floating in the water.
Yeah.
And so we were like, all right, let's do this, right? So it, got down to our swimsuits and we ran out into the lake. Dove under the water. It was like knives, like stabbing. It was so cold. And you're just like, and then you come back out and it's like, we were there for like 11 seconds, right?
Oh my gosh.
I timed it. It was on, we got it on video and I timed it. It's like, okay, from the time my first foot hit the water to the time I was out on the beach again was 11 seconds.
11 seconds. Wow.
Yep. It was crazy, right? But then we're back out on the water and we started drying off. And I was like, wow. Like, I don't feel cold. Like, this is pretty crazy. And so we just kind of nonchalantly dried off, put our clothes back on, our swimsuits and everything, and then went back to the house. The rest of the day, I just felt that warm, cozy, content, peaceful, warm feeling. The whole day from that point on. It was crazy. Like from that one moment of the pain, just and experiencing that. And then it was just warm the whole rest of the day. It was crazy. And that happens in our emotional lives as well. We let ourselves experience that pain and we allow it, right? That's the thing. We can't like resist it. We have to allow it to happen. And then when that time period of the pain is over, we have peace. We have that contentment. And it really does work.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just to give the alternative. Say Joe put his toe in the water and said, "Nope, that's too cold. I'm not jumping in." One, obviously, he wouldn't have the story to tell. So,
I
right,
would have a different story to tell where
right,
I chickened out.
yeah, where he chickened out. That doesn't create peace. That just it gave a moment of pain, and it's because he embraced it that he felt that peace, that warmth rush over him the entire day. If he had done that with just his one foot or just his toe, right, like that, he wouldn't have experienced that feeling. He wouldn't have
Yeah,
been,
how often do you notice a feeling of warmth in your toe?
yeah, right, and he wouldn't. I'm amazing. I can't believe I did that. He would be like, I chickened out. Okay, that stuck. That stinks. You know.
Well, now there
So
were people watching that thought we were crazy. But it was fun. But yeah, that's the key. The key is to not resist it.
sometimes.
There's a book called The Miracle Equation by Hal Elrod, and that's one of the things he talks about so much is that to not resist the painful experiences. He gives himself 5 minutes. He calls it the 5-minute rule, where he's like, I give myself 5 minutes to curse and complain and moan and all that kind of stuff. I give myself 5 minutes. I set a timer when something bad happens to me, something painful happens, and I let myself get it all out of my system, and then when the timer goes off, I can't change it. I can't change that happened. And that's what he says to himself. He says, I can't change it. So the key is to not resist. Don't resist those painful experiences. Pain's going to come. But if you don't resist it, your reward is peace. Your reward is contentment. It's knowing that you went through it, you experienced it, and you're okay. Because you're okay. You are okay.
Mhm.
You
No,
do deserve intimate relationships. You are worthy of that. You are worthy of the greatest friends.
yeah.
You are. And you have the ability to love others. I've seen it.
Yeah, you're an amazing person. Definitely. Yep.
Mhm.
Whatever experiences you went through that might make you feel like you're not good enough or you're not good at communicating with people or anything like that, um, the reality says differently because you're an awesome friend, and you're really outgoing towards people in a way that is good for them and good for yourself, and you create healthy relationships. So, um, absolutely.
Mhm. Really, truly, you are.
Yep,
You are worthy of it.
absolutely. Don't sweat it. You good. You good, girl.
And you know we love you around here.
Mm-hmm. Around here.
Right.
Sorry.
Oh my.
Said around here. So
That's great.
sorry, everybody. You don't know that song. If you do, it's not a bad song.
I know that song.
Yep.
That's that's like my era, man. It's from
I
like the
know.
90s.
I know.
Yeah.
Around here, people don't. All right.
All right. So anyway, thank you, Princess, so much for sharing. I hope some of that helped. I hope a little smidgen of that helped. Ryan definitely did not talk as long as me.
Yeah. Thanks for letting us go on about all of this for like an hour. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Hopefully,
good.
thanks for being patient, everybody, while we contested this one.
But I think that was really important. That's a really important thing to talk about. I think,
Lots of stuff that helps everybody.
yeah, all of us have wounds. All of us.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there. Everybody in the chat, I'm sure you've dealt with stuff that hurts. I don't think you'd be here in this show if you hadn't.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So you're amazing, princess. And we love you.
Yep, we do. We love you.
So yeah. All right. So shall we
Moving
move to the next one?
Yeah, Lay's is called Moving Forward, and I just thought that would be appropriate.
All right.
Moving forward from that one, let's do Lay.
Moving forward. All right, perfect. Let's do it.
Of course, there is Akil, and Cherry is here as well. But
Yep. Yep. Cherry is here. Lay is here. Cherry, and well, Akil rarely allows us to
allows us to do his. Yeah,
yeah.
he's awesome.
He's so gracious in giving. Akil, my hat's off to you.
Yeah, you're awesome.
You know,
we love you
because he always puts others before himself.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Yep, let's let theirs go." So we're gonna handle Lay's because Lay is here today, and yeah. So.
And it's 3 a.m. for Lay. And
yeah.
It's quite late.
That's amazing.
With us, Lay.
Yep. So anyway, so here is Lay's. That's right there. That's the post. I posted it like a boss.
It was your last name too? Yes, Lay was. It's awesome.
Bang. That's the sound effect for the day. Bang when I post the post. Yeah. So all right. So this is called Moving Forward because that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move forward. And click on the link right there. And read along. Goes like this. Turning back is bound to be another calamity. So once more, I'm coming back to that topic. Me and my past. Magda's death, the circumstances following it, and what it means for me. Just in case someone needs a short explanation of what happened, my first love was called Magda. We were really close, and due to certain delicate reasons, she decided to sell herself for money without telling me.
Whoa.
I caught wind of it, broke up with her. She made an attempt at her life from sorrow. I gave her another chance after learning what caused her behavior. Her mom couldn't afford therapy for cancer and started visiting her in the hospital. One day, I just walked into her room as she was ending her life for good. I'm glad to say I've made progress. It's no longer what ifs. I'm not blaming myself for what happened. At the very least, not while capable of thinking rationally. The last month was a little rough in that regard. And I finally started accepting some things I denied time after time, which helped me set a better picture of what my role in all of this was. And by that, I mean I did all I could. And it's not just a cheap excuse. And now I'm here, laying down in a bed, thinking about it all. And I think I'm not only ready to move on, but I feel almost forced to. Here I turn to the topic of my question. A quote, turning back is bound to be just another calamity. And it's not just the situation with Magda. It's also the crush I gave up on. It's a few mistreated friendships which gave up on me and a few other things I so dearly miss. I feel as if every time I made actions to right my wrongs in those situations, turned back, I ended up with another massive failure, a calamity. I've heard time and time again these two things. Always fix what you broke and always take as much time as you need to recover. But these two together just make me stuck in one of two loops. Suffer, recover, fix, fail, or suffer, recover, fix, fail, something else. And I feel like the only way to finally reach a bright tomorrow is just break through. Just when, at which step, and how. I can't just keep going on while suffering or I myself will break. Trust me, I tried lately. I can't keep hoping I will just end at fixing suddenly without failing something again if it didn't work so far. But on the other hand, if there's no other choice, maybe I should just suck up the pain after actually failing and break from the loop there. No suffering means I could finally move on. but can I manage that? And yes, I know there's the option of just not fixing anything and moving past, accepting all of the results, outcome. I'm missing a word here. I'd love to know, what are your opinions on that matter? It's not super important, but it would certainly help me out. And I appreciate your humility, Master Lay,
Mhm.
but it is important, because moving on, that is an important thing. And you're right. We do get stuck in loops. We do get caught in loops that are, like it's like this repeat thing, repeat, where we're trying to fix the same things over and over again. And I've been stuck there. Ryan probably hasn't, actually, because he knows how to get out of it. But um that face said it all. Um
Yeah, you did.
but no, I really appreciate you posting this, Lay, and I hope that some of the stuff we say will help. So, Ryan, what do you have for Lay?
Yeah. This is an interesting thing. And um, you said in this, I've heard time and time again these two things: always fix what you broke, and always take as much time as you need to recover. Um, I think that always fix what you broke is a good, how'd you say? It's a good on you morally kind of thing. Kind of like, I messed this up. I'm responsible. I should take ownership of what I did and fix it. I like that. However, um, there's an important if and but kind of part of it, and that's this. In in the grand scheme of things, you can't undo something, right? Um, for example, if someone does something mean to you, or let's just turn this around. Let's say you do something mean to somebody else. You're having a bad day, you do something mean to someone on purpose, and you're like, oh geez, I shouldn't have done that. Right. And then you go back to the person and you try to make up with them. You say, hey, I'm so sorry I did that. That was wrong of me. And you know, I don't know why I acted that way. And that was really stupid. And I'm really sorry that I did that. You can do that. Right. But did that make it all right? Did that make it so that you never did that? You never did that mean thing to that person? No, you still did that mean thing to that person. Did you actually fix it? No, that mean thing that you did is still happened, and that still affects that person, possibly for the rest of their life. That was something that you did to them that they can remember happened. And here's the thing. Here's the thing that's interesting. Maybe they don't forgive you, right? And that ruins the relationship. Or maybe they forgive you and it makes your relationship even stronger.
Mhm.
But that's the reality, is that, yes, bad things happen and we want to fix them. But the truth is, if you look at time and the way it happened, nothing we can do can change time. It
Mhm.
happened as it happened. But are you going to let um, that event make things better in life or worse? And that's up to you. So, again, while we want to fix things, we can't always do that. It's better, instead of to try to look at what you can fix, instead of saying fix what you broke, I would say make good from what is bad.
Mm.
Make good from what is bad. You have that ability and you have that responsibility as a human being, because you were given that power as a human being to take what is bad and make something good. When you forgive somebody for the wrongs that they do and you allow that situation to increase your friendship, um, like I'll tell you, like for example, me and my brother, right? We've we've done plenty of damage to each other throughout our lives because we're brothers. We grew up for each other. we grew up with each other, and we've witnessed the bad sides of each other, and we've put the worst, things we could do on each other, right? We've hit each other a few times, right? Um, but at the end of the day, love persists. We forgive. And knowing that no matter how much we go through, like how much we put each other through when we were still forming that relationship, has increased how much we can go through together now. What I'm saying is, as much as as much pain as we put each other through, right, created a bond that makes us inseparable regardless of how much pain we're put through now. Because we've seen each other's worst sides and it doesn't phase us because we've seen it and we've forgiven, and it will never phase us because we know we're fighting side by side. We're on the same team, right? That is not like, it's not like we fixed what we broke. It's not like we undid the wrongs that we did. The wrongs that we did were still wrong. However, we took something that was bad and we made a relationship that could not have been better if those things didn't happen. In the Catholic Christian world, we have something on Easter that we say, and that is maybe it's before Easter, but it's "Oh happy" or
Oh, happy fault.
"Oh happy fall." I believe it's "Oh happy fall." Is it happy? Is happy
Yes.
the right word? Okay,
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh
And
happy."
it is Easter.
Yes, Easter. Okay, on Easter we say something, "Oh happy fault," or something along those lines. Yes, we give praise to the fault of humanity. We, even though that seems weird, right? We take joy because we can find joy in the good that would have never been possible if the bad hadn't come first. And it's not necessarily a yin yang kind of thing where there can only be as much good as there is bad. That's not how we see it. It's more like there is so much good in the world, and there's something beautiful that exists that could have not existed if pain hadn't preceded it, if fault hadn't preceded it. In this case, of Christianity, it's that humans were able to be saved through Jesus dying on the cross. But the happy fault isn't that we're talking about. The happy fault is actually in the beginning when Adam fails his trial. In the story, Adam goes to eat the fruit with Eve. Adam and Eve, they eat the fruit they were told not to eat of, right? Um, and that's the fault that we say, "Oh, happy fault" about, because life was perfect at that point, right? Um, it was supposed to be, anyways, right? They hadn't sinned. Everything was good, right? Everything was good. But because of that, because he messed up, just as Akil said, we were forgiven. Because of that, forgiveness entered the world.
Mhm.
Because before then, there was no such thing as forgiveness. Because everything was good. There was no, that's beautiful, right? And and before that happened, the whole scenario from that point of humanity to where it is now, there have been a lot of good things that could not have possibly been if it wasn't for failure first.
Mhm.
So, um, okay, I somehow barely ever heard of that as a Polish Roman Catholic Christian, to be fair. Oh, okay. How can you forgive someone for something they didn't do? Uh, how can you forgive someone for something they didn't do? Okay, maybe you're asking somebody else that question. I don't know how to. I don't know why you would forgive someone for something they didn't do. Anyways, um, awesome, dude. I'm part Polish myself, so it's cool. Anyways, um, yeah. So basically, my whole point here is to say maybe change your personal standard. Rather than trying to fix what's broken, make an attempt to make good out of what is bad. There's another thing in the Bible, and I'm sorry for pointing this to so much today. But there's a person. It's in who was it? The book of was it Job? I could be wrong. Anyways, they turn back to look at a calamity, right? They turn back to look at the calamity behind them, and they turn into a pillar of salt.
Yes, that was Lot's wife, actually.
Lot's wife. Sorry, yes, Lot. Yes, it was Lot's wife. Um, and it begs the question, why? And now there's a lot. I'm not going to get into the theology. There's a lot behind the symbolism of salt and all of that stuff. I'm not going to get into theology. But one thing that's interesting is that if you think about it, when you look back at the past, at the calamities, you no longer are moving forward when you let those affect you.
Mm-hmm.
You look back at the past in a productive manner if you are looking at it from a forward perspective. You can be like, okay, how do I move forward? All right. Oh, wait. I learned something about this in the past. See, now your mind isn't moving in the right direction. But if you look at the past, specifically just to look at the past and like replay those calamities and feel that emotion, you're not doing any good for yourself. So just like you said in the, keep, moving forward is the topic title, right? And that's absolutely what you have to do. So just like you said, you don't want to turn back. You don't want to look behind you. You'll end up seizing up. You'll end up turning into a pillar of salt. And that doesn't help you. It doesn't help anybody. But if you put the future on the line and then you look back, now you've got something worth looking at the past for. So I know I've talked a long while just about that little portion, but I just wanted to bring that up and give you maybe a different outlook in life instead of just trying to fix what you broke. Remember that some things in life can't be fixed.
Mm.
That's just how it is, because they're not meant to, because they're not necessarily broken. You can't fix what's not broken. You just have to make good from what is. It is as it is. Make good from that. That's your objective in life. In anything that you do, make good out of what you do, out of your time and how you spend it. If you are making good, there is no loss. There's only triumph. There's only victory. You might fail, but still your attempt was to make good. You're making good inside yourself, in your heart, and you're making good for those around you who witness it. Mm-hmm. So if you lead a life directed at making good, you have nothing to lose. And when you look at the past and you think that it's broken, maybe you can realize it's not broken. It's just not how I wanted it to be. But what from what happened can I turn into something beautiful for the world? Something good. How can I do that? And then now you've got yourself the solution, I think, to a lot of life. One of the things that makes us feel best in our hearts, a lot of times we're searching for happiness in life, right? That's really the main reason we do almost anything or think about anything. We're looking for that happiness. A lot of times we play that past back in our heads over and over. Right? We're looking for happiness, even though we know we're not going to find it there. We're looking at it and we say, that's not how I want it to be. That didn't make me happy. And we play it again because it's tragic. But if you want happiness, put good into the world. You'll find it. Honestly, you be a force for good and you will find happiness. Easy. So, anyways, I'm going to leave it off with that, and I'm going to let Joe share some wisdom with you all.
I don't know about that. I'm going to do my best to speak about this topic.
Okay.
If it's wise, then great.
Yeah.
If it's gibberish, I apologize. But
that is gibberish. It sounded like a real language, didn't it? I
it
don't
did. Wow. You're pretty good at gibberish.
know. No, gibberish. Honestly, have you ever tried to repeat like the words that a baby is saying? Like sometimes you're like, how are you making that vowel? That is like a weird, like dad. Wait, how you? I can't. That's weird. Anyway, sorry. Go on.
Yeah. Well, I do want to. I do have one thing to kind of talk about here, and that is that I'll start with something to consider, and that is, could it be possible that the way to fix the problem is to move forward? Could that be the actual repair? Is to move on from it? Because I've actually experienced this in my life, and I don't know, maybe some of you have as well. And I can totally relate to the always right your wrongs, and if you break something, fix it, right? If you do something wrong, fix it. If you break something, fix it. If you break something of others, fix it or replace it or do something, make restitution, whatever it is, that it's just like a code of honor that we go by, right? If I hurt somebody, try and do whatever I can to fix it. Now, here's the thing. I imagine what we're talking about here is like injuries in personal relationships, where it's like, okay, so I hurt somebody's feelings, I did something or I said something that was really painful for them, and I need to go back and fix it. Which basically, we can get trapped into, I need to basically go and do whatever I can to make them happy again, and it's not fixed until they decide to be happy again. But here's the unfortunate thing. It's not up to me to make any person happy. That's not up to you to make any person happy. It's not up to you to make anybody satisfied. That's not up to any of us. Like that is between them and their creator. Like their happiness, our happiness is up to us individually. We decide it. Right? So but I've been trapped in that loop before where it's like, okay, I really did something that offended this person. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do everything I can to make them happy. And I'm not going to stop until they're happy. Because if I don't continue that fix, it's not repaired. And I've always been taught, fix the things I break, make right the things I did wrong. And I did this thing that caused this person to be unhappy. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to do whatever I can to make them happy until they're happy.
Until they're satisfied.
Exactly. But you know what? Here's the thing. I didn't make them unhappy. They did. I may have made a mistake. I may have done something wrong. I may have done something or said something offensive. But they chose to be unhappy. I know that's kind of harsh words, maybe, because sometimes we blame others for our unhappiness, but it's not their fault. We choose it. So here's the thing. If you do something wrong and it makes somebody unhappy, I just saw my name pop up. Do you do that with small mistakes as well? And I'm guessing, I guess I'm not exactly sure what that means. But yeah, like I would do that with small mistakes even. I would go back and I'd be like, you know what, I really messed up. Oh my gosh, I need to make, and this person's really upset about it. I need to go back and make them happy. And it's like, and so then all my whole life is consumed with doing things to make this person happy. And then they're never happy because it's up to them whether they're happy or not. It's not up to me. Right? So here's the thing. I finally discovered this after years of this type of behavior. Years of acting this way. Like I thought I was so important. I was in charge of other people's emotions.
You're not? What?
That's an extremely arrogant thought, really. But here's the thing, when it comes to personal slights like that, or saying something, or you do something that hurts somebody's feelings, what I've found is really the only thing I can do is sincerely apologize. Go and just be like, look, I am so sorry for hurting your feelings. I did not want to hurt you. That was the last thing that I ever would want to do, is hurt you. And I am so sorry. I hope you can forgive me. And that's all I can do to fix it. That's it. My work is done. Right? And from there, it's up to them whether to accept my apology or be happy or whatever. It's theirs, right? No matter of money I spend on things to buy them, no matter of time I spend trying to do things to make them happy or like me again, matters. The only thing I can do when it comes to a personal slight like that, when I do something that offends somebody else, the only thing I can do is apologize. And then that's it. I have done everything I possibly can, because from then it's up to them whether they decide to forgive me and to mend the relationship, right? That's it. So then, once you do that, once you say, I'm so sorry, I have no excuse. And that's really probably the key, is like, just admit that you were completely at fault. Don't make an excuse. Don't be like, well, the reason I did it was because you did this, and I was just responding to what you did. Like that. No. I hurt you. I never wanted to hurt you, and I'm so sorry. I did not mean to. And in fact, it was funny. Like, I was going through this with another person one time, and I was like, well, have you apologized to him? They're like, well, it wasn't my fault. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Did you mean to hurt them? Because you hurt them. Well, but like, I hurt them, but it was really because of something they did, and blah blah blah. I'm like, no. Did you hurt their feelings? Well, yeah, because I said this and it hurt their feelings. Were you trying to hurt them? No. Okay. Then what you can do is you can apologize for hurting their feelings. And you can say, I never wanted to hurt your feelings. Don't bring up, well, the only reason I said it was because you did this and blah, 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 whatever. No, leave that aside.
You can't justify everything in life.
Exactly. No, you did something that hurt their feelings. You weren't trying to hurt their feelings. So you can be sorry you hurt their feelings. And you can say, look, I never meant to hurt your feelings. I'm so sorry. And then that's it. So sincerely apologize. Then you get to work on you moving yourself forward, because that is how you repair the relationship, by being a better person. Right? That's what happened to me. I spent years trying to fix the problem, make people happy. And all I could do was apologize. And then like, nope. Okay, now I'm going to be a better person. So I'm going to exercise, whatever it was. I'm going to read, to improve myself. I'm going to try and be happier. I'm going to have a better attitude. I'm going to be more thankful every day. I'm going to try to achieve goals. I'm going to do everything I can to be better and better and better. And you know what happens? Those people start to respect you more, because they see you making an effort to be better, to be a better person. And that's how you move forward. And you can pick, do I want to be better mentally? Do I want to be better emotionally? Do I want to be better physically? Do I want to be better
logically
as a driver? Do I want to be a better cook? Do I want to be a better sweeper? Like whatever it is, do something to make yourself better and you'll be moving forward. It's great. And another thing is that you're free. Now, when I've sincerely apologized, that's everything I can do. Now I'm just going to be a better person. And your moving forward actually then fixes the problem. It's so crazy. But I've seen it so many times in so many different ways where I have done things wrong. I mess up so much. I have my kids programmed. Those of you who have not been on this stream in a long time or whatever, I've programmed my kids. I tell my kids that they say it now right off the bat. I say, hey guys, what's Dad's best thing that he does? And they're like, messing things up. And I'm like, that's right. What's Dad the best at? Messing it up. You bet. And like the person most offended by that is my mother-in-law, I think. She's like, oh, you shouldn't get your kids to say that about you. And I'm like, what? I do mess things up, but that's how I learn stuff. I try not to mess the same things up over and over again. I try to mess up new things every day. But you know what? I know I'm going to make mistakes. And so are they. And so are you. And so is Ryan. But especially me. I'm the best at it.
Yeah. We can't all.
Yep. Lay says, the typical Polish mindset I keep stumbling upon is apologies never enough. I can't even count the times I heard people who wanted me to stop apologizing and fix them instead. Yeah. Yep. So once you apologize and it's sincere, then it's done. And then love them. Even if you have to love them from a distance because they didn't forgive you yet. But in your heart, love them. And here's a clue. A sincere apology requires love for that person. If you don't have love in your heart for that person, then your apology is probably not sincere. And what Ryan always says love is, and it's absolutely true, it's desiring the best for that person. That's what real love is. Love in our society has taken on so many crazy forms. It's ridiculous. Mostly, though, love means romance in our society. But that's not what real love is. Because romance has a self-seeking aspect to it. But real love is really a form of self-abandoning in which you're seeking the best for that other person, even if it costs you something. It's funny. I like to say marriage is funny now these days. We say things when we get married that say, I will, for richer, for poorer, for better, for worse, da, 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 as long as we both shall live. And it seems these days, as long as we both shall live has turned into as long as we both still feel like it.
Oof.
Seriously. But what is it? It's like, no, well, they did something that hurt my feelings. So I don't care. You made a commitment. As long as we both shall live, neither one of you is dead. I'm sorry. No, I'm going to go off on a marriage tirade. I'm sorry. But anyway, love is wanting the best for that other person. And then you have a sincere apology, and then you can move on and make yourself better at whatever you decide to. Pick something new every day if you want. Today I'm going to be better at driving. Today I'm going to be better at putting X's on my calendar. Today I'm going to be better at penmanship. Today I'm going to be better at, putting together a game plan and following it. Today I'm going to be better at to-do lists. And every day you do something better, you're making yourself a better person. And you're moving forward. So I've gone on for long enough. Ryan, do you have anything else to say?
Sure. I guess, and in the end, you said, um, you want to reach. You said, and I feel like the only way to finally reach a bright tomorrow is just break through. What step is that? Blah blah blah. And I think the step is, if you're looking for a brighter tomorrow, is this. First, I'm gonna say a quote I've said many times before, Lay. How you feel about the world is how you will feel living in it.
Hmm.
If you see the world and think that it's crappy, you're gonna feel like crap. If you feel the world is gloomy, everything's gloom and doom, you're gonna feel gloomy. And you're gonna feel like gloom and doom. Um, but if you think the world is bright, it's full of opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
which
Which
it
it
is.
is.
It is absolutely full of opportunity.
Mhm.
It is beautiful, designed beautifully. Uh, so much detail in a single flower. You can spend your entire life looking at it and not even reach the end of the mechanics of every way it works and understand it to its full existence, where it came from, tracing it back to the ends of time, the beginning of time, rather. You can't. And that's just for one flower. That's beautiful to look at. The world we live in is incredible. If you want a brighter tomorrow, understand that today is already bright and tomorrow will be brighter, because tomorrow is one step into the future.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you're putting good into the world, you have nothing to be ashamed about. Sure, you might mess up from time to time. You might put bad into the world sometimes. But you know what? We learn from our mistakes. And when we make bad into the world, there's another opportunity to make something good,
Mm-hmm.
because you can make good from bad.
Yes.
If you want that breakthrough, the breakthrough is just realizing you're already there. You don't have to fix anything. The only thing I guess you could change is the way you look at it. And that will you're looking for recovery, that will give you recovery. That will help you recover. Um it's interesting. Joe was talking about it earlier. Medicine, doctors say, like, we're not here to help people heal, or we're here to help people heal, but we don't do the healing. We give them medicine, we do some surgery, but it's their bodies that naturally recover. It's their bodies that create that healing within inside. And that's already true. They say time heals all things, and that might not be exactly true, but it is true for most things. Um, and healing will happen over time. The thing is, you just got to make sure you're not opening scars over and over for no good reason. If you know, I'll say a lot of times evil begets evil. Um, and good begets good. If you see, there's something called like a downward spiral. Um, and that is, like, depression is a downward spiral of self-hate. You hate yourself, and then you hate yourself for hating yourself, and then you hate yourself for hating yourself, and then you hate and you just end up in this spiral of depression, right?
Yes.
The spiral works in the opposite way. Um, eh, Good begets good. When you can look at the world and see it as an opportunity to do good in every moment, you can look at yourself as an opportunity to have good into the world and to project goodness into the world, through your actions, through your words, through receiving pain. Yeah, sometimes suffering. Like we were talking about, with princesses. Sometimes it's just taking that pain and going with it, saying, you know what? whatever. I can take this pain. It's all for the best.
Mhm.
Um, then good begets good. And you will see that cycle start to drive you upwards. Instead of a cycle of depression, it's a cycle of, I don't know, oppression. No, depression. No. Anyways,
Uplifting or
growth, self growth, self
Mhm.
enjoyment. Um,
depression and oppression.
oppression is not good either, right? But yeah, you get what I'm saying. A lot of times when we start seeing the world as beautiful, it becomes easier to do good things. Like we see the world is good,
Mhm.
right? The world is good. Yes, there is evil in it, but
Mhm.
the world is good. I mean, think about it. You live here on this planet we call Earth with water, with all sorts of plants and animals. That's good. That's awesome. In fact, that's a miracle. That's insane. Of course, it's good. Yes, there are evils. Yes, there is weather that destroys things. Yeah, yeah. But the earth is pretty good. All in all, in its natural state and how we see it, awesome. Mushrooms, yeah, mushrooms help degrade matter into reusable matter.
They do?
Yeah. I
Wow.
mean, without mushrooms, it would take a lot longer for trees to degrade into a material which could be reused.
Hmm.
So we're kind of reliant on mushrooms existing in our world, or else we would have a lot of problems. Trees would die, and no trees would replace it because the trees are still just sitting there, dead, and that matter is not usable. So,
There are parts of my life that are dependent on infected mushrooms.
ooh, Infected Mushroom is a good band. I like those guys
Mhm.
from India. Anyways, yes, I don't know how we got here, but anyways, world is good. Honestly, it is. And if you can see it for that, and that there's so many opportunities to good out there, your life will start to feel good. You will feel good. What is happiness? Oh, happiness can be described in many ways. A lot of times it's satisfaction. But honestly, one of the key states to happiness is just you feel good, right? Isn't that what happiness is? You feel good. How do you feel good? You do good. How do you feel good? You see good. You're going to feel good. And you know what? You are constantly experiencing the good around you. You just have to be thankful for it. So, yeah. Um, The breakthrough is all in your head, how you see the world. Perception is everything. Perception will determine how you feel, whether you feel happy or not. That is the key. Perception. How do you see things? A lot of times we're like, oh my gosh, I messed so much up. I have to go back and fix it all before I can be happy because all of this I'm ashamed about. Truth spoken? Nope. Honestly, yeah, if you want to try to make things better in the world, yeah, absolutely. But what is happiness? It's feeling good. And yes, feeling good requires a lot of work.
Mm.
But one of the main things, the absolute main thing, is how you see the world, how you see yourself in it. Perception is everything. And if you can perceive yourself feeling good, if you can perceive that the world is good and you are feeling that, and you get to experience the joys around you, there you go. You have happiness. So for me, that was my breakthrough. Realizing that, oh, it's just a matter of how I see it. That's
Mhm.
all.
Mhm.
That's that's it. That's it. That's the whole thing. That's it. How I see it. And then I feel good. Like again, this works for anything. Like maybe someone does something wrong to you, right? Well, how you see it changes everything. Because if you look at it and you're like, wow, that person is an evil person and they just wanted to hurt me because they wanted more evil in this world. That's one way you can look at it. Or you can go, they probably weren't trying to hurt me. I'm not really that mad at them because it's like that wasn't their intention. It just kind of happened. Or you might be like, oh, that guy was just having a bad day. Or, or oh, they were trying to do good. They accidentally they got confused or they did this. Their intention was good overall. So, you know, um, they're a good person, and I'd like to be friends with them. It's just kind of like, whatever. It changes everything how you see it.
Mhm.
It does. And it changes your attitude. It changes how you treat that person. It changes how you understand that person. It changes
Mhm.
your intimacy with that person. It
Mhm.
changes whether you can forgive or not, whether you have anything to forgive or not.
Mhm.
It changes everything. And your happiness is the same way. It's not about necessarily going back and making everything that was wrong right. It's about how you look at the world and doing good in the world and seeing yourself as an existence which has millions of opportunities in its lifetime to give good to the world and seeing that the world is good, I think is a great start to starting is to to feel that good inside of you and to feel that everything is good. And then you'll experience happiness. Um, so anyways, I'm gonna end with that and moving on. Joe, did you have anything else you wanted to add to that?
One thing I saw Akil's post, I saw it in response. You said something about even if it means burning bridges. I imagine it's like doing the right thing. You do what you feel is right, even if it means you're burning a bridge,
Hmm.
right? And yet, sometimes that happens. Sometimes we take paths in life, and sometimes we make decisions. Sometimes we do things and we say things and we make decisions, and sometimes because of those, bridges get burned. However, I've come to realize after burning multiple bridges in my life, where I was the person burning the bridge, that I look back on those experiences and I realize I didn't have to be the burner of the bridge. Now, I could have made decisions and bridges could have been burned in that regard. But I don't have to be the one that burns the bridge. And I can also be there willing to re-bridge the gap if the other person decides they want to as well. So it's all in a way of how we look at the situation. Like Ryan was just talking about, it's all in how we perceive it. I do something that I feel is right. As a result, a relationship gets broken off, a bridge gets burned, as Akil said. But that doesn't mean that I have to look at that bridge as always being burned. I can be there willing to accept that person's friendship again or to accept the reconciliation of that relationship again. And that's totally true. I can choose to see the bridge is completely burned, it's never going to happen again. Or I can look at that and I can be like, here's a chance for reconciliation in the future. Here's a chance for me to re-bridge that gap again in the future. And it may never be the same again. And that's okay. But in my heart, do I love that person? In my heart, have I forgiven them for the part that they played? And am I willing to be reconciled to them if the chance ever came up? And then you become a bridge builder.
Hmm. I was about to say that. Yeah, absolutely.
You do. That's great.
I think one thing I often ask myself in those scenarios is I try to mix situation and scenario at the same time. That was almost a new word, and that was weird. Anyways, scenario. Anyways, it's just kind of like what you just said. What would I rather have? A friendship or an enemy? What would I rather have? A good relationship with this person, or like feeling this anger or this sorrow or this contention, right? I always ask myself, like, what honestly, just honestly, Ryan, what would you rather have? Your revenge or that you never broke apart in the first place and everything was good?
Mhm.
And then my answer is always for the good. It's always loving, just like, of course I want the best. Of course I want the best. Well, what is the best? Oh, that's easy. It's always the right path. And sometimes you just have to forgive. Like, well, what do I rather have? Oh, I'd rather have a relationship that works. Okay, so how do I do that? All right, so first step, forgive. You know,
Mhm.
second step, start building that bridge if that's necessary.
Right.
Sometimes, well, you know what? That's not necessary in this scenario. You have to judge
Right.
you.
Yes, and what Ryan's talking about here speaks great to what science said. Science said, "I'm not building a bridge if it lets a monster into my life, Joe."
Hmm,
I agree.
exactly.
If they are being a monster, then they're not willing to build the bridge.
Right.
They're wanting to come back and hurt you. And in that case, you're like, "Wait, this isn't the real you. This is a monster." Like, I'm willing to build a bridge with you, not this monster, right? So yes, absolutely. And that's part of the using the discretion. Like, if there's reconciliation, then they're not being a monster.
Hmm.
If they're being a monster, that's not real reconciliation. That's not rebuilding the bridge. That's just wreaking havoc into your life and theirs, really. And so yes, I agree. Don't let monsters into your life. But that wouldn't be rebuilding a bridge then. That would just be continuing a problem and letting the fire continue on the bridge. It'd just be like a bridge always on fire. Uh,
Yeah.
yep.
I'm sure there's an analogy to be made there,
Yes.
delay, but yeah, feeding the trolls under the bridge is maybe
Yep.
not.
Yeah. In science, you said it exactly right. It's rather to have a good relationship, but a demon that only feels hate can't be reconciled with. Absolutely. Now, you know, people can change. We
Mhm.
can change. They can change. Everybody can change. It's not up to us to change other people, though. And that kind of comes full circle to what we were talking about in the first place. It's not up to us to make people happy. And it wasn't us that hurt that made them angry. They made themselves angry in response to what we did.
Mhm. And that kind of goes back science, like you said, because I'm said sorry if I sound bitter because I am because this one person still hates me to this day. It's one of those things where of course we don't want to be bitter. We want to try to forgive, but that doesn't mean you just let them into your life. Um, and it's kind of like what Joe was talking about earlier with you can't control the emotions of another person, you can't control the desires of another person, and it isn't up to you. You might have the best of intentions but they don't, and so you know it's not your fault at that point. If you try to make a relationship good and it's just not, it's like that's not your fault.
Mhm.
It is what it is, and so you let it be as it is and you make good what you can of it. And that doesn't necessarily mean you bend over backwards for them so they can make you into something evil, right? A lot of times you have to stand up for what is good, what is right. And that means standing against your enemies. Um, but you can love your enemies while you stand against them.
Mhm.
You can still desire the best for the people who oppose you. Um, and that is beautiful. And that is a beautiful and humbling and humble, I guess, rather. That's a beautiful and humble um, thing and experience to go through.
And that is making s'mores on the bridge that's burning.
Yeah, I
Like
love
what Joe
that.
said.
I love that. It was like making some burning. I love it.
Yep. Thank heaven for burning bridges because we can make s'mores.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, that's awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. You know what? We're to the point where
You need to cut it off.
uh yeah, we're getting to the end of the show. Sorry we only handled 2 topics today, but they were big, important topics.
Mhm.
And you
And
guys hung with us.
lots of people were helped either way.
Yeah, and I talked longer than Ryan,
Did
which
you?
was
You're
great.
actually pretty good. You're pretty good.
I
Uh,
did. I did. I look at the amount of me talking versus you talking, and I talked more.
well, I'm proud of
So
you.
there.
That makes me happy.
There.
If your
I
if
win. I
my
talked
sentence is
longer.
greater than my talk, then I'm happy. about that. I'm satisfied.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Speaking of such things, I worked with my father-in-law today. It was awesome. My father-in-law owns a construction business, and we were working together today. It was fun. And we went to lunch, and we went to this place where you get hot dogs really cheap, right? And I got 2 hot dogs,
Whoa,
and
nice.
he got 1 hot dog.
Hmm.
Now he piled a bunch of sauerkraut and onions and stuff on his hot dog. I just put ketchup, right, on my 2 hot dogs. But it was hilarious. Like, we're sitting there eating hot dogs, and I had like 1 bite left of my 2 hot dogs. Like, I was down, I'd eaten all, 1 bite left. And at that point, he took the last bite of his 1 hot dog. And he says, "I win."
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, "Dude, I had 2 hot dogs." He's like, "Hey, I still got done first. I win."
Yeah, geez, if you wanted to win, you should have only taken half a hot dog.
Right, exactly.
Let's have the fun. I want to win this time. I don't care about being hungry. I just want to win.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Great.
But at any rate, yeah, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for posting. Thank you for the lively chat. You guys are amazing. And wow. Every time I come here, it's so great to see all of you guys and to hear you guys. Now, here's the thing. We've got 1 week left of the Kickstarter campaign.
Yep.
Go to the Kickstarter campaign. I don't have a link to it right now. Let's see. Where's the link?
I'll do
You got it?
Well,
Yeah, okay.
Here we go.
Where are we at? Oh man, we have a $10,000 goal. We are at $9,410.
Wow, it went up since last time I checked it before the stream.
It did. And we got some stretch goals. For those of you who haven't been there in a while, the stretch goals are if we reach $12,000, there's going to be a Japanese version of "It's Not Like I Like You" in Japanese. That's what Japanese version means.
Yeah, Japanese.
Yes.
My mom
Japanese.
She was like talking and reading this article. It was like some game. I don't know, but they were like, she's like, Japanese? What did I just say?
That's great.
Yeah, that's Japanese.
Yes, but then the stretch goal number 2 is what really excites me. The 15,000, we reached that, and there's a sequel to "It's Not Like I Like You."
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Which I can't wait for, because for one, it forces Ryan and Amory to work together again, which that just needs to happen.
Yeah, actually, we have a lot of fun together.
Yeah, and create amazing stuff in the process of having fun together, which is awesome. So yeah, go there and check it out and contribute if you haven't, or if you have, thank you, and please continue. And wow, you guys are awesome. So here's the thing. Actually, on our next stream, it will be the last couple hours of the campaign.
Yep.
So we will end the campaign on a Don't Worry Wednesday stream.
Right. And you guys will get the part.
Yeah, man. You guys will be here with us. And so, yeah, tell your friends, that the P is going to be live streaming with some bald guy.
Ooh, that ought to get some attention.
For the last few hours of the stream. We're going to close down the campaign on the stream.
It's not like I love you, mate. I love that. A song about friendship. Oh, that's great. You spelled 日本語話しますか? Really weird. 日本語
Do not use a word like that. No, you almost have a heart attack. Yes. So anyway, Thank you guys for being here. Tell your friends next week's going to be a big one. Ryan's going to be hosting. And in the meantime,
yes, Slay.
Yes, go to bss.studio. If you have any topics you want, go there and post them there. You can email us dww@bss.studio. Go to Discord, do whatever you want. Just get the message to us. And then check out the Kickstarter. It's going to be exciting. I think we're going to make it over the $10,000 goal. The next step is seeing what's the stretch goal going to be.
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited to see.
Thanks for stopping by, Kay.
So yeah, thanks. Thanks for being here. And come again, all of you. And we'll see you next week right here. Don't Worry Wednesday. We love you guys.
We love you guys. See you later.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you later.